Okay, and we're back up. We're back up with the next session, where in our previous session, aka the start of the campaign, a fair few things happened. We were introduced to the Foundlings and their matron Helga, and after some time spent with them, an unfortunate event occurred where the house was raided, Helga was taken, and her foundlings were left without any real direction or understanding of where to go. So they went out into the winds, only to be caught victim to a strong blizzard that started raging for the next few days, where they were eventually found sanctuary in this little estate of farmland owned by Belle Olympia, who has taken them in. And we left off with the group having just had breakfast and trying to figure out what to do, at least with the start of the day, as Belle had said that essentially you guys could give Mason a hand with some of the things she was going to be sorting out. But until that point, well, it's bright. Should not have turned my screen brightness up. But until that point, you have free time to do what you want to do.
Do we know how much free time we have?
You'd say you've got maybe like an hour or so.
Hmm. Can we explore the house?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
So you are
I'll
currently
do
on
that.
the ground floor, where normally, so this is kind of like a the front two rooms of the house are actually the front desk of the counter for the actual creamery, and the rest of the building is Belle's home. So you are in the living room, which connects to like a long hallway that goes out to the front room where you guys were initially found by Belle. But there is a staircase you can see a little bit down the hallway. There is a staircase that goes upwards. Um, there's the kitchen where you can hear Belle currently doing some preparations to preserve some of her crops, like to dry cure some things. You can hear Mason in the back garden, like just outside of the dining room, preparing for the day's tasks. But the rest of the house is mainly upstairs. You got the kitchen, dining room, and living room on the ground floor. You can go around to where the counter is, where the actual shop front is, and then you have upstairs.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to Belle and go, Belle, can we explore upstairs?
It would help me if I actually had Belle's sheet open. If I had Belle's sheet open, huh? So, can you roll me a charisma check? Not for anything
I
bad.
can certainly try.
Not for anything bad if that's what you're worried about.
I have a +3 to charisma.
Roll with advantage
Um,
because you're small. And small and adorable.
I already rolled really good, so I don't think this. I rolled two 19s, so that's
Damn.
22.
22.
Those big baby eyes.
So you look up at her, and you can see a slight tinge of cuteness aggression in her eyes as she rolls a 12 on her charisma check. She ponders for a moment, and you can see there's a slight moment of hesitation in her response. Well, sugar, I suppose so. Just don't go banging around, alright?
Okay, thank you. and then I go upstairs.
Scoria Marcel.
I'm going to follow Florian upstairs.
Scoria,
Scoria is not going to follow.
what would you like to do?
Scoria is feeling pretty energetic and is going to go to Belle and ask if there's anything that she can do right now to help around.
So you watch Florian and Marcel slink off upstairs like excited children that have been told they're allowed to go into the sweet cabinet. New exploration abound. And you go in to talk to Belle. And she's got a little smile on her face as she appears to be dry curing some meat. And she looks over at you. Oh, well, hello, sugar.
Oh,
Your little your brothers have gone upstairs if you're looking for them.
I saw them go upstairs. I was wondering if there was anything that I can do.
She ponders, mulling over the idea. Well, I mean, you could go outside and give Mason a hand with some of the logging.
Sure.
So you end up. So she gives you a little hand axe. Asking for it to be returned to her afterwards, when you're done with it, and points to the back door that's open where you can see the large Bovian man cutting away at some logs, wearing what appears to be a set of blue denim overalls with a red and black plaid shirt over the top. Surprisingly enough, the outside like backyard, as it were, it's like an alcove. Think like a really large gazebo type roof over this alcove. So the whole of their back garden is completely free of snow, which is surprisingly miraculous. Fucking English. Surprisingly miraculous, all things considered. And as you approach with the little hand axe, Mason looks up, spots you, and has a smile on his face. Well, hello there. You come give me a hand?
Yes.
You ever done this type of thing before?
How's Scoria? Would Scoria have done logging before?
I'm gonna say, because you have an axe proficiency, that yes, you have done this before, but usually with Helga's supervision.
Yes, but normally Helga supervised.
Because I now have the image in my head of, like, Helga trying to chop logs, looking at Florian and Marcel and going, I'm not giving either of them an axe. So...
Now we can play soldiers for real.
No. So the hand axe you're holding is much smaller than the axe that Mason is currently carrying. It's almost like a large iron battle axe that he's carrying. Bit different to what you're used to seeing, because normally the axe that Helga was using to cut wood has only got a one-sided axe head. It's normally has a reddish tinge to the metal. This is double-sided and looks more like a warrior's weapon than something for your usual wood carving. Well, come on over here then.
Scoria goes on over.
And he appears to have a second axe that's much larger. You ever wielded one of these before?
Not really.
I see. Well,
I prefer spears.
well, shouldn't be too hard. And he proceeds to pass the axe over to you. Can you make me a strength check with disadvantage?
Come on, that one. Let's go. Come on. That's 7 total.
Okay, so you take hold of the axe and immediately proceed to start falling face first towards the floor, as the axe is built for someone more of Mason's stature, so it's quite dense, quite heavy, and you're not ready for the weight of it as he puts it down into your hands, and you almost hit the floor.
Priya squawks.
He catches you, hands under your shoulders, and keeps his hands flat. He doesn't grip around your midriff or chest at all, and seems to be very respectful of your breasts. Basically, he tries not to crush your chest.
Something tells me I should probably put the axe down.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody fall flat over. Then again, I do remember Maple having a bit of a problem with trying to pick up some of the heavier things. Here.
I think it made me too top heavy.
just like me, Ma. And he grins. And you can hear something being shouted from inside the house. Do you know Giant? Are you familiar with that language?
No.
So you hear something in a language you are unfamiliar with being shouted from inside the house, and Mason looks a little meek and has almost the same sort of expression on his face as Florian and Marcel would when they're tag teaming for a little bit of chaos, as it were. And so Mason starts showing you how to use the little hand axe you have to basically start prying apart the logs that he's partly split. Meanwhile, upstairs, Florian and Marcel,
Chaos shenanigans.
you two are having a little bit of an explore.
How big is this place?
Quite large.
How big is it compared to, like, what used to be our house?
It's about twice the size, easily.
Wow.
This place is huge.
It's a lot more open plan. And
This must be at least twice the size of... Oh.
you also
No, never
are
mind.
aware. You're also aware that this is built for a woman the same stature and size as Belle, so naturally speaking, the ceiling is a lot higher. A solid foot and a half higher.
I probably don't notice the difference from down here.
No, it seems just as far away as usual.
Everything looks giant to Florian.
Makes the dating pool easy. Sorry. I am a mature human being. Anyway.
So far, there
Dark
has
and
been
handsome
no
means
need.
just anybody larger than him.
Anybody. Anybody? Anyway, you're exploring.
Anyway, I am looking for cool things about space, cool books about plants and things, cool looking clothes.
Okay, so you start looking around, and you notice immediately that one of these doors has been left ajar, with what looks like some interesting little plants outside it. And they have a fascinating colour.
Do I notice that... Does Marcel, notice that Florian clearly has an agenda right now, but you thought we were just exploring?
Florian, are you actively trying to hide this little agenda of yours, or is it just...
My agenda is just to find things that interest me.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then, do you want to roll an insight check? DC 10.
Who? Me or
Marcel.
Right.
Since you're not actively trying to hide it, it'd be a 10 for DC. What is your insight roll, my dude?
5.
You do not
You
clearly
thought-
seem to you clearly do not see what Florian's little agenda is to try and find stuff that's relevant and interesting to him.
Just gonna follow him around curiously because he seems to be moving with purpose.
Yeah. So as you go up, so Florian, as you go up to this plant, you notice that it has these little space-colored flowers on them. They're like little astral
Oh.
blooms.
Martel, look.
But
They're so pretty.
ooh, what are those?
We'll have to ask later. Unless is there a like label on them?
There is not. Can both of
So
you
is it
make me
flowers, you
hearing-based
say?
perception checks, please?
You say flowers?
Yes.
Okay. Marcel's gonna immediately like reach out a hand and start feeling for what like the texture of the flower is.
Can both of you make me hearing-based perception checks?
Okie dokie.
I didn't hear shit.
I maybe heard things. If
Wait,
the
it's
DC's
hearing.
not too
Do I roll with
high.
advantage?
Hmm?
It's hearing. Do I roll with advantage?
Check your abilities.
Where's... Oh,
What do those large ears of yours hear?
You do not have advantage.
Perception.
I have large
Okay,
ears, but I don't
16.
have hearing advantage apparently. Yeah, I don't hear shit.
What did you roll total? Do not assume that you have not succeeded, because it could be a very low
11.
DC. 11. Okay, and
My
Florian?
perception's very high.
16.
You both succeed. And you hear what appears to be a low voice, a low, very monotonous voice muttering in the room that you are standing in front of. The door is ajar.
Okay, I will like gently knock on the door and say hello.
Hello, we are new here. What's your name?
The voice inside the room goes silent.
We're
Maybe we
friendly,
shouldn't
don't
bother
worry,
him.
I'm
He might be
Florian.
shy.
I'll slowly push the door open.
Florian, you can't answer without being asked. It's rude.
What? I did. Can we come in?
So you process this a little bit too late, as your hand pushes the door, and it starts to slowly creak open.
I'll hold it closed then.
Dexterity check.
Okay. Oh! I have good dexterity. This shouldn't be too hard to just hold the door, unless they're like opening it while
And
I.
if you're like reaching for it, you might fall over.
Gosh, 10.
You miss the door
Can you even reach the door handle?
because you
Shush.
are just slightly shorter. You would have to
Oh.
reach a little further upwards to grab the door handle, and it opens fully. And laying, you can see this rather dark, dank, not so much dank, more of an oppressive level of dark, like somebody has put the put down the what are they fucking called? Blackout blinds in this room. And in the bed that is in the that is towards like the middle / center of the room, against the wall. So yeah, mid-center. Question mark, no. I know what I'm saying is correct, but the placement in my head is not. Bed against the wall towards the middle point of the wall. There we go.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, but it wouldn't sound right in my head, so...
Okay.
is a rather large male. And the first thing that you see, because of the dark shadows of this room, are the faint glow of yellow eyes.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to intrude. We'll let you sleep, yeah?
And that's when when you can see the silhouette sit up. And you see the shadow of these antlers being cast from the little candle that is behind him. As he speaks. Who are you? You are not Bell.
Hi, I'm Florian.
And I am Marcel.
We got here yesterday, last night.
We got caught out in the storm, and Belle kindly took us in. Did she take you in too?
There is a low rumble as he almost growls at you. I was told that there would be nobody else. Roll me history checks, both of you.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
not
rolled a
remembering.
3, a 4, and a 5
Then
consecutively.
Then stop rolling in your little tub, because it'll stop it rolling properly.
8.
My guy. It's because you keep rolling in a tub that limits its movement, so it doesn't
I'm
fully
doing this
roll.
first.
Doesn't matter.
Does it? No?
If it rolls around the same manner.
Well, I'm keeping
Anyway.
the original roll anyway, because I'll be cheating.
So what did you get?
History, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Start with Florian while you're getting your modifier. What'd you roll, Florian?
8 total.
10 total.
Florian's on the DC, and Marcel, you succeed. You recognize this voice. This is the voice of the person who refused to kill you and your companions. This is the voice you heard whilst encased underneath the ice back in your home. You don't know this man's name, but you do recognize his voice immediately.
Well, obviously we weren't planning to be here. We got caught out in storm, and she didn't want to let us die, so now we are here. Sorry if that was not planned, but that's how it is. We can leave you up here and not bother you and not talk to you at all, if that makes you happier.
The eyes of this man's eyes squint a little bit as though he's studying you.
And Marcel is trying his best not to shake.
Florian, how are you responding to this?
Just kind of frozen.
Because of registering that he was there before registering that
Mhm.
he's was looking out for us. So the fear response is the first thing that kicks in.
Those eyes continue to fixate on you, seemingly curious as to your presence here.
Florian, I think we should go. He does not want us here.
Can you get the door?
Yeah, I get his off.
And as you reach for the handle, make me a wisdom save, please.
Oh shit.
Why is he doing?
Marcel, make me a wisdom
Yeah, I
save
know.
as you reach for the door handle.
Unfortunately, I did not roll a 6. Otherwise, the stars would have aligned. Wisdom save.
A magical wisdom save.
That would be
Oh.
a 12.
A 12. You fail.
Yeah, I don't think I was succeeding that.
Approach. And almost as though your body is being controlled by some sort of puppet master, you make your way towards him.
Just me.
Just you. Florian, you watch as your brother starts moving towards the door handle, and the moment this man's voice speaks, you see Marcel walk directly into the room towards this man's bed.
Can I grab his hands and just kind of dig my heels in
Yeah?
to try and hold him there?
You are unsuccessful. You are dragged across the floor with him,
Because I'm tiny.
as unfortunately you do not have enough weight behind you to prevent Marcel from moving.
Marcel is in stunned silence at what is happening to him right now. He has never experienced anything like this before.
Tell me, what is your names? Florian and Marcel, yes. And, what is your name?
He does not speak, he nods.
Speak. I do not talk to the people who are mute. Don't waste my time, boy.
Yes, that's my name.
And for a moment,
He's scanning the room for an exit.
you watch as you can hear him mutter something to himself quietly. And he reaches a hand out towards you.
Marcel flinches.
And in his hand, there is a tiny little bunny. It is very clearly an illusion. But the hand holds out towards you.
Like an actual rabbit.
Yeah, like it's almost like if you gave a bunny rabbit dwarfism.
Okay.
So
although,
teeny
like,
little bunny that fits in his hand, which is notably large in size.
Marcel just stares at it in stunned silence. Confused now. Very confused.
Once again, the only thing you can really see of this man are his antlers and his eyes, and the vague silhouette of his form.
Hey, do you mind if I put a ton of light on in here? And then I'll wait for his response.
If you must.
Okay, I'm gonna cast. I think I have torchlight or something on my
Just
little
level
stick.
Okay, so you cast
It's a
torchlight.
cantrip.
Yeah. So you cast torchlight on the I'm assuming on the end of your quarterstaff, yeah?
Yep.
Like a makeshift torch. And as you do that, the room lights up. You hear him audibly grunt as you basically just flashbanged him.
I could have actually flashbanged him, so
Probably not the best idea, but you notice
Yeah,
that
probably not.
his upper half, he is completely naked. You can see from roughly around where his belly button is upwards. The rest of him is hidden underneath the blankets that have covered the bed. And you see large crack marks, or like large crack lines running up his antlers. He is covered in bruises and bandages that have bled through somewhat. It's very clear.
Oh, gee,
sign
you
that this
don't look
man was
very-
beaten. Sorry, go ahead.
you don't look very healthy right now. I know some healing magic if you would like.
Marcel's intrusive thoughts get the better of him,
Mm-hmm.
and he tries to touch the little bunny rabbit that's being shown to him.
It squeaks as you make contact with it. However, it doesn't. Your hand seems to glide over it, but it does not have a. It's not physically tangible. You realize that this is an illusory spell that has been cast.
We had any experience with illusions before?
Yes, you have. Through Helga. She has had a couple of. You had a couple of spells that were illusory in nature, as there have been a few comical incidents where you've been talking to her only to realize that you're talking to an illusion and she is somewhere else in the house doing chores.
Hilarious. That's a great use of illusion magic.
See? But this man looks at you. My name is Xavier, in case you're wondering. I am part of the people that laid at your home. Why would you offer to heal me? And he's looking at you as if trying to... As if he's trying to process what your intent here is. As though there is some sort of veiled assassination plot under the surface.
Well, I don't know really what happened, and you seem hurt, so I thought I'd offer.
You, you protected us.
I don't kill for the pleasure like they do. I was told that there was a radical terrorist, a woman who would absolutely destroy the world as we know it, if I did not help. Unfortunately, it would seem that I was incorrect. You may heal me if you wish, and good luck getting anywhere, though. These wounds have not exactly seen better days.
But the matron's not a
Okay, I
terrorist.
will cast
Do you
your.
have the wrong person?
So you cast Cure on him,
Mm-hmm.
and a sound.
D6.
A sound. Don't worry about rolling healing.
Okay.
A sound comes out of him that catches both of you off guard, as it is vaguely suggestive in nature. As it's very clearly intended to be a sigh of relief, as the pain of some of his wounds lessens, but it sounds borderline sexual. As the sound that comes out of him is something along the lines of, ugh. And he exhales heavily through his nose, which is what adds that slightly suggestive tone to his sigh.
Do any of his injuries heal?
Hmm?
Do any of his injuries actually heal?
You notice that some of his antler re-heals, as though there is something that has been placed, some sort of lather, or almost like it almost looks like some sort of like gelatinous wax has been placed over his antlers. And he looks at Florian with curiosity.
I don't think that was enough. You should do it again.
No. I don't like owing people without knowing what your intent here is. You know that I am the reason that your life as you know it is gone. Why are you healing me? I do not comprehend.
And Marcel's gonna look at Florian and then look back at him and shrug.
Florian also looks confused and just says, "Well, you're hurt, and you don't seem like you're gonna attack us. So,
And the moment you say that, a wicked grin crosses his face. Is that so? You think me incapable of defending myself, do you? And he sits up.
9. You
even
literally
further.
made me walk across the room against my will. I would presume if you wanted to kill us, we'd already be dead.
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
How did you do that, by the way?
He looks at you. What a strange individual. They show no sign of fear. Most people would have killed me by now. What are you? Who are you?
I'm just myself. I am me.
And it's almost as though you are the two of you are the first experience he's ever had of where the person, like, where he has been his contract or whatever he had that involved him with the kidnapping of Helga. It almost seems alien to him that you guys are not trying to immediately run a knife through his chest. And that fascinates him. And it almost amuses both of you because it's such a strange thing. He's expecting you to attack him. And that's just weird to you. It's kind of funny. But really strange.
And Marcel's just gonna hold his gaze. Unsure how to proceed next, but sort of, I guess, adjusting on the fly based on what happens. Because I'm picturing that Helga would have taught them at least something about how to deal with people.
Mm.
And I'm picturing like her sort of teachings being not showing fear and stuff like that.
Would you like to make an insight check against this man?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be a 21.
You realize that there is more to this man than meets the eye. Something about the way he is conducting himself. He is very clearly trying to maintain a position of dominance in this interaction. And you kind of understand that this setup with the three of you, were this a one-on-one interaction, he might respond differently. But because there are two of you versus just him, it's a 2-to-1, you two versus him. He's very clearly trying to put on the impression that he has full control of this situation.
Or it's working.
Can Marcel actually move now?
Yeah, you've been able to move for a while.
Oh, okay. He just hasn't tried.
Yeah. The spell that was cast on you only lasted for 6 seconds.
Okay.
So you approached you approached him and then just were left there.
I could have just left.
You could have at any point have just left this interaction.
That'd be rude though.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that rudeness was not a potential thing on your option list when you saw this man. But anyway, much to your dismay, before either of you are able to really make any progress on working out what the hell this man is, you can hear Belle calling you two from downstairs. Darlings, what are you doing up there? Better not be disturbing my guest.
We were looking for space-themed stuff. Do you have any?
And you can see a rather vindictive grin form on Xavier's face as he looks at you both. And you realize you've got maybe a few moments to leave this room before he decides to take matters into his own hands.
Okay, we leave the room.
Really?
as you leave, the door starts closing. You can just hear you hear him muttering to himself. Ugh. Finally, got to figure out how to get out of here. To get back. And then the door closes.
I am going to look for Scoria and the rest to tell them what just happened.
Yeah, they are outside. So as the two of you, I'm presuming you're both going downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
You both go down. You find Scoria outside in the yard with Mason, picking apart these little firewood logs, whilst Mason is swinging his axe to take apart some of the big ones. Well, you two look like you've seen a ghost. You're quieter out there.
And Malexel just meekly nods.
You two need a moment alone with her.
Nods
Yes,
again.
please.
All right. And Mason heads inside. And he starts talking with Belle. So mother and son start having a conversation quite loudly. You can tell that Mason is trying to keep Belle's attention so she doesn't end up stepping outside to interrupt your conversation, leaving the three of you together.
Oh, hi, Scoria. Me and Marcel went to explore upstairs, and we found.
I saw you go upstairs. Was there a problem?
Well, we found these cool flowers, and then by the flowers there was this door, and it sounded like there was someone in there. So I knocked on the door and was like, "Hello, is anyone in there?" And no one responded, and I started to push the door open, and then the guy who helped burn our house down and also didn't kill us was there. And I healed him, and then we left.
Gloria's wings just puff up.
Yeah, you know how the guy got beaten up? It would seem he made his way here as well. What do we do?
Well, it is your problem. You will not want to discover him. You can also tell Mocha and Ugamak. I can imagine that they will be genuinely very upset. I do not know what you plan to do. But for starters, maybe we can get some information from this Antlers. After all,
He said that he was told Helga was like a terrorist or something, and that's why he helped kidnap her.
well done. Maybe he can
Thank
tell us
you.
more about Archbishop Lux.
He's very scary. I don't think he will tell us much more.
He took control of my body. It was weird.
Magic.
I'm sorry, that sounds so suspect out of
That's
context.
the point.
It's still suspect.
So you're telling me that this person that is in this house, who assisted in kidnapping Matron, who must not burn our house down for his ex-partners, did that. But it is not as if he has many regrets, it seems.
And as you're having this discussion, a small feeling of worry starts to settle in over you. As Hugmug and Mocha come out and join you to help prepare, as Belle is gathering you all together to send you out to help Mason on a little chore. And you're starting to wonder and worry a little bit whether you can trust this new motherly figure. Whether Belle is actually safe or not. and whether she actually knows about who the dear man that you've encountered is. Those thoughts start running through your mind, but they are briefly silenced as Belle closes the doors and the window, and you can see a window. The blinds to it open up, and you can see Belle in the room that the two of you were just in, that happens to face out onto the back garden. And she has quite a brutish level of aggression in how she's talking to the man in the room. And you recognize this from the one time where Helga has actually gotten angry and yelled at one of you, Marcel.
Probably me, yes.
When you broke her favorite vase that she had acquired from an old partner that she used to work with. And that is the only time where she has ever metaphorically brought the house down. The level of energy that was outputted by her is what Belle seems to be delivering to this surprise guest of yours.
I picture Marcel put the vase back together piece by piece and then gave it back to her. And it just sat in the house, like, still shattered, but with, like, glue all around it.
Maybe. But your concerns and thoughts are cut short, as Mason, with a little backpack on, comes up to you. Well, I hope it ain't a problem, but maybe. Oh, Scoria, I can hear something in the background of your
Right.
I hope it ain't a problem, but Meemaw's asked if you guys can help me out with a couple of chores. Gotta go out into the farmland a little bit and basically check up on the crops.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes,
We can do that, can't we?
Oh,
we can
well,
definitely do that. It
hmm
sounds great, and it's not here, so yay!
So you end up heading out into the fields, and you see one of the crop patches is completely shielded. It's like a little greenhouse of sorts. Okay, first place to check on is in here.
What are we doing?
Well, Meemaw's got different kinds of cabbages growing in here. And they just happen to be the favorite thing that leaf bunnies like to have a little bit of a nibble on. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Are we familiar with leaf bunnies?
You are vaguely familiar with them.
Like, do we grow any sort of crops to sustain ourselves, or do we buy everything in? Or...
Helga's normally the one that deals with the crops and little plants that you guys grew in the back garden, and you've heard her shouting at them a couple times, but...
Oh yeah, we've had problems with leaf bunnies too. See, Matron normally sorts them out.
Well, we might have to deal with a couple, just so you're aware. I hope you ain't squeamish. Because they might try to fight us.
No.
What, bunnies? Don't we just chase them away?
You will be surprised. They will throw hands, as it were. And so, you end up going into this. It's like a little, you almost forget it's a greenhouse after you enter. Because there are some large bushes and what appears to be like a little dirt path. It goes down the middle. It kind of separates them all out. Alright. I'm gonna start checking over here, and you start checking over there. All good?
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. And he has a big grin on, big, happy, very dopey grin on his face. as he starts poking about the bushes.
And Marcel's going to like lean over to Florian and say, "Do you think they can trust him?"
Yeah, I think so. And
They
then
keep him like
Florian's
scary
gonna
man
start.
upstairs.
Um,
What
well,
if his compatriots, his, I don't want to say friends, but what if they find him here and find us?
well, then we'll have to leave before then, won't we?
Yeah, I suppose so. Hopefully there's not another storm.
And then I will search the cabbages for leaf bunnies with my claws out and ready.
So if you look at the Roll20, you will find that it has changed.
The Roll20. Okay. Oh wow, we're in the green. We're in green. This is huge place.
We're also in brown.
There's also brown. Yeah.
Okay. So you realise, as of this point, so Mocha and Hugmug move over to one of these big bushes and starts checking them. They're like very bundled together. You realise that if you wanted to, as far as you're aware, if you wanted to have an advantage on your potential problem later down the road, you could attempt to incapacitate Mason here if you think they might be working with this dear man, or you can continue to put your trust in them. But the thought crosses your minds that if you were to try and pull some sort of power move to make sure that you guys are 100% safe, now would be the ideal time to do it, as they are separated from one another. If that is a course you wish to take. Otherwise, there are bushes on the map for you to have a little poke through.
The thought
Should
crosses
we just
Marcel's
move?
mind, but he shakes it off and goes to the bush on the left.
I will go to the other side of the bush on the left so that we're flanking whoever or whatever is in there.
If you both just leap into the center, you definitely get it. You'll just headbutt.
So, Scoria, what are you doing?
I'm checking bushes.
Okay. Which bush are you checking?
This one up here.
Okay. Mason goes to check this bush. So you all are checking different places. And there's a little rustle in the cabbage patch. And all of them, the first person to find something of any note is Florian.
Yay!
You see a little white round fluff ball poking out of the bush at you.
Aw. I'm gonna try and shoo it away from the bush.
And you hear it as you start. Are you doing this by making noise? Are you like poking it?
Yeah, I'm making noise near-ish it.
You hear it start squeaking. You hear kind of noise. I tried to do that. Mike didn't pick it up.
I
Just
did
imagine
not pick up.
bunny squeaking.
Okay, I'm imagining.
and it pops its head out of the bushes. And is staring you dead in the eyes.
I hiss at it.
It squeaks very loudly, and the other 3 bushes within range start rustling.
Since it wants to fight.
I'm gonna try and push it with my stick. Just give it a little knock knock.
Nice,
So are
bunnies.
you trying
Don't want
to
to hurt you.
hit it, or are you just trying to discourage it from being in what the
Just
place
trying to, like,
is?
move it, you know, like sort of.
And as you attempt to do that, it moves out of the way and takes your attempt at trying to relocate it personally. Roll for initiative.
First combat. Yeah, big number, big number.
I don't think it likes you
Low
flying.
number. Where is my initiative? Oh, it's gonna be some tiny number like 4 or something. It is. Oh my god.
Oh my god, really?
Mm-hmm.
No, me.
So my plus 2 initiative is 4. I rolled a 10.
My first initiative is 9.
Bemesian traits.
How is the plus?
For a 17 for initiative.
You want to say that a little louder?
For a 17 for initiative.
Okay, because remember I've got one headphone like 90% of the way on. Florian
10.
and Scoria.
21.
21.
Fucking
Damn.
I have a wooden
She's
dagger.
solid.
Is it actually like sharp, or is it technically a bludgeoning weapon?
They're sharp,
Okay.
You're gonna give it a splinter.
but they are not capable of lethally damaging things. At least at this point. Unless you are intentionally attempting to land a killing blow, it will be non-lethal damage.
Okay.
Aside from Scoria. If it's piercing, because it's a big spear with a pointy end. So it's like basically mostly non-lethal, we're gonna say in air quotes. Anyway, Scoria, you are the first to act.
Oh, joyous days.
This is so exciting.
Me reading.
Oh.
Can I jump attack?
Whom?
Oh, I have advantage on initiative. Didn't know that. In plains, grasslands, or other open natural environments.
Well, you've already rolled it. You've given me the final number, so you
Yeah,
have
it was
to-
lower anyway.
Anyway, you are jumping into that bunny. That is. Let me double check. Able to target dex score. Okay, so roll me an acrobatics check, please.
$24.
24. Okay, so when you roll to hit, you will have a +1 to hit on
Okay.
top of your usual.
$11 to hit.
11 on the roll to hit.
Yeah.
It misses.
Damn it.
So as you flap your wings, move up into the air, and drop down with the spear, the leaf bunny ends up leaning to the side, and you end up stabbing the leaf nest that it has woven into its fur. Are you going to move, or is that the end of your turn?
This is the end of Scorio's turn.
Okay. Next person to act is Marcel.
Since these bunnies made it personal.
Hmm?
I said, since these bunnies made it personal,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to trudge through the bush.
Mm-hmm.
And like as he's walking, he's going to say, "So, are we killing them, or are we just shooing them away still?" Because he has realized that he has the capacity to kill these things quite easily.
Who are you asking?
Florian.
You're asking Florian.
Yes.
Okay.
Florian just shrugs.
What do I feel bad about this? As he uses spell combat.
Okay.
Roll hit with his dagger, probably missing by the looks of that. For a 13.
That misses.
And then, being mindful that we are in an area that is quite green and quite susceptible to fire, is choosing to use Blizzard. Single target.
Okay.
That's even worse.
What did you roll?
That's a 13 again.
That's
Oh, it's the
13.
same.
That misses. Is that the end of your turn? So
Yes.
remember to spend your MP since you have cast a first level spell.
Yep, I don't have any bonus actions, so... I have bonus actions, but I have nothing I can use them with, so...
So the next
Oh, that's
person,
a shit.
the next person to act is Mocha, who lets out a little gasp at how cute the bunny is, until it does like a weird little like hiss sound at her. She doesn't take kindly to that. Takes hold of a battle fork and attempts to stab it. Fuck me, okay. Rolling a 26 to hit, which
Is that
lands.
correct?
It is not. It's an 18 on the dice. Which is a battle fork, so it is that. And then because Mocha's hunter's prey is an animal, and these things are in fact animals, so it's a D8 additional damage. Doing fucking 16 points of piercing damage, and goes in for a killing blow, killing the leaf bunny.
Well, that answers that question, they're killing them.
You kind of get a general understanding this is the intent when you look behind you, or not behind you, but like to your right, to see Mason with battle axe up high, the shiny metallic blade ready to cut down. Okay, and that is going to be the end of Mocha's turn. Meaning it is... Oh god, I don't scroll too far. So you see over in the distance, one of the leaf bunnies attempts to attack the large Bovian man looming over it, but does not seem to be capable of attempting to bite the part of him that it was aiming for, as it is too small, ending its turn. The next person to act is Florian.
Hello, 1 second, I'm writing.
Alright.
There we go. I'm making very detailed notes. I will attempt also to attack. So with my claws,
Mhm.
because it's an, can I use it as an offhand when I'm for a bonus action as well, or
Yes, you will not be able to offhand from casting a spell though. So if you do
okay?
if you
So
do like
I
a
can get
melee and a
two
melee,
action.
yeah. So if you do like 2 claws or like a light weapon, I think you're. Have I given you a quarterstaff? I think I have.
You've given me a
A
wooden
rod.
rod.
Yes, that's a light one-handed weapon, so you could whack it with the rod and then claw it.
Yeah, but my
Your claws do
my
more.
claws do more damage, so I'll just do those twice.
Valid. Okay,
I don't know. Maybe I'll kill it in one. But
roll to hit.
okay. First roll to hit. 16.
16. That hits.
Hey, first hit.
Yay! Okay. 1d6 plus 4. D6. 6 slashing damage.
6 slashing damage. The leaf bunny lets out a loud squeak as your claws rake across its body. It appears to be on its last legs.
Okay, I will attack again. Oh, that's a 25.
Fuck me. Yeah, that definitely hits.
Yes. If I do non-lethal, will it just run away?
It will become unconscious.
That's not really much better than being dead. Okay, I'll just kill it.
Something will just come along and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And 6 damage again.
Yep, that kills it. As you rake your claws across its body again, it lets out a little squeak and flops.
It's so sad.
Do I have any bonus actions?
You have
No, wait, I
used your
already
bonus
used my
action.
bonus action. That's
So,
what. Yeah.
are you
okay,
moving?
cool. Everything good.
Are you using any movement speed, or are you ending your turn there?
I'm like, um, I will move. There are no more leaf bunnies in this bush, right? So
No. The leaf
I will
bunnies
just
have
move.
exposed themselves.
10, 15, 20. I think there. How much movement speed do I have? Like 30? 40. Okay. That's 30. I'll go here then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Movement speed used.
Okay, so the next person to act is Mason, who, with battle axe in hand, lets out a moo, a battle moo, as I'm going to refer to it. So as he brings his weapon up and swings it down. Fuck me. Okay, rolling a 26 to hit. And he's only one-handing it, but does 12 points of slashing damage, rending the bunny. That one. And is then going to use his movement speed, if I can find the correct thing. It's weird using jump gate after begins to make his move over. That's the end of Mason's turn. Next thing to act is the leaf bunny in front of Scoria. That moves over. Does a 1 hit?
No.
Oh, just skimmed it.
A 3 on the dice. Oof. So close. Anyway,
I fucking rolled a 3 on the dice. Fuck's sake. You trying to copy me, Leaf Bunny, huh?
the leaf bunny is personally mocking you.
Mother-
Hugmug is next up on the turn order. And having seen his big sister
Probably is. Please
Fail.
don't kill it. I'm going to cry.
That's maximum movement there. It's going to cast Moment of Greatness.
I'm gonna
And-
cry.
In an epic moment of me intending to not do the voice, you just hear Hugma going, "Yeah, try again." And that's the end of the initiative order. So we go back to the top. Courier.
I'm just gonna attempt to hit it.
Fair.
And obviously use move.
Ye.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, that tickles me.
Was
That's
that
a
one?
fucking nat 20!
Ah.
When you needed it, it was like, nah.
Nah.
So that definitely hits. It's a 34. Jesus. Yeah, that hits. That hits alright. Be kind of funny if you rolled a 1 on the damage. It's like, yes, here, have this crit, but also, fuck you.
Oh yeah, I get to double it, don't I?
Yeah, double damage, baby. So how much damage do you do?
Well, that's gonna be a minimum of 10. I rolled nice.
Ooh,
18.
damn. So, is there any particular way you would like to finish it off?
Kebab.
Kebab. Okay, so you raise your spear up, and as the leaf bunny prepares to try and bite you again, it's like looking like it's getting ready to bite your ankles. You impale it, and it just flops in place. And a little thought runs through the back of your mind. Of, haha, try copying that, bitch. Or something with the same sort of energy to it. And so, the quiet returns, and Mason goes around and picks up what's left of the leaf bunnies and puts them in the bag. Well, me ma'll be happy to have at least a little something extra to pack out at the ration she was preparing for y'all.
Yay!
You ever
Good
had,
job, everyone.
You ever had bunny before?
Have we?
I think so. Yeah, we have.
Well, me ma knows how to make a mean stew. Gather you all together. Down the bottom. And so you go throughout your throughout the warehouse doing the chore. Fucking warehouse. Greenhouse. Oh my god. Oh, wrong brain cell. Wrong brain cell. Right. So you're going through. You're having a little look. You're picking at some of the fruits and veggies and stuff that are here, that are in full bloom and ready to harvest. And you're preparing to make your way back. When you hear this ungodly shriek noise from outside.
Oh man.
Outside.
From outside the greenhouse.
Does it sound like an animal or a person?
Yeah, do we recognize the sound?
Roll me a hearing-based perception check. Your partner.
Oh man. Oh, very good.
Ooh.
It's an unnatural 20.
Ooh, spicy.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Scolia.
6.
So it takes you a bit longer, Scoria, to place what the noise is, but the other two managed to get there first. You realise it's a type. It might be a wild boar, and it appears to have decided that the settling right outside is exactly where it wants to be. As you can hear it dragging, you can hear it scraping its tusks against the wall. And you wait for a little while.
I'll poke Mason and be like, what should we do?
And he just looks at you with a little smile on his face. What, you ain't familiar with this sort of thing? Well. Let's see. I suppose if you want, you could go outside and have a poke around, see if it's out there. That, or we could let it in here. I'm sure that Mima won't mind adding some pork to your some cured pork or bacon to your rations. Well,
Okay. I will poke Hugmug and try and get him to open the door.
What's happening?
roll a
There's a
persuasion
big-
check.
Alright. There's a
Because
wild boar. I'm trying to get Hugmug to open the door so that because he's large and in charge.
Hogmug rolled a nat 1 on his perception, and Mocha rolled a 7 on the dice. I can't be asked to look at the rolls.
Persuasion, you said.
Yes.
Well, my dice decided to hate me now, so that's a 5 total.
That's a second nat 1, so
Open the door.
no, convincing Hugmug to open it. And
To let
Hugmug,
the boar in.
and yet having initially been convinced that there was some sort of spooky ghost outside, moment Florian's like, yeah, can you open that door? It doesn't process in Hugmug's mind that, hey, maybe I shouldn't open that door. As he pulls it open,
Well, ready yourselves. Marcel drops into his dance.
Yep, combat ready.
kind of,
His
Say,
hand
like, the door.
flickering with elemental energy.
yeah, we'll say like the door is down here, and everyone else is huddled to the side. I'm just going to move these back up a little bit for the sake of ease. And for a moment, all is quiet, all is calm, until you see the boar charge directly into the room. Charging directly at Hugmug, attacking with its tusks. It rolls a 19 to hit him.
Oh dear.
I'm pretty sure. Does that hit?
I don't any of us have got AC around 19 yet.
Not yet, no.
We're only first level, aren't we?
Just some of you have the capacity to hit 20 AC already. Or close to it. It does 8 points of slashing damage to Hugmug. And you hear your large sibling let out this pained cry.
Aww.
Oh, that does it.
First person to act is Scoria, as I will be maintaining your prior initiative scores.
I jump attack.
Boing.
That's a 21 on acrobatics.
Okay, so you will have an additional +2 to hit on top of your usual hit bonus.
It's a 18 to hit.
That hits. You will have an additional from jump attack. You will have 3d8 instead of the 1d8 as you beat the DC by 10.
Nice. Oh, 16. 13.
Okay. Can you move up? Can you move up to the ball?
There we go.
So you leap and you manage to land a vicious blow on this thing as it squeals. As you realize that the end of your spear has hit it in a vital area. It looks like it is about to fall over and perish. Marcel.
Yep.
You'll be following that up?
I'll be following that up, will I?
Mm-hmm. Because you are next on the initiative.
Run around here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have a limited number of uses of spell combat, do I?
No. Spell combat is unlimited use.
Okay.
The only thing realistically limiting it is how much MP you have. But cantrips exist, so...
Rolling a 21 to hit.
That hits. Sounds so apprehensive.
No, it was mathing.
Oh, okay. Valid.
Doing 7 piercing damage.
How would you like to do this?
As it moves in for its next attack, I basically bring the dagger down straight through its skull.
Okay. So you manage to kniffy it through the head.
And
And
with my
it
bonus
flaps.
action, I use Cure on Hugmug. Healing him for 16.
Yeah, it's dead.
No,
It's-
I said
it's-
I heal.
Oh, you're healing. Yes.
Yes.
For how much? 16.
Yep. There we go, Huggy. All better now. I've established now that Marcel feels like Huggy.
So, with that over, Mason lugs the lugs the boar over his shoulder, and you start making your way back to the camp. Camp. Well, what may as well be your camp, little camp, yeah.
A house.
The house, yes. Sorry, my brain is still wording. It's failing. So you make your way back to the house.
While we're on the way back, I just got up to Hugmug and well, I'm sorry that you got hurt when it came through the door. I thought it would, I thought you'd have time to get out of the way before it charged in. That was scary.
He doesn't seem too upset. More on the part of Florian could not have predicted a wild animal's movements. But when you get back, Belle starts Mason takes Hugmug and Mocha off to go and Just make sure that Hugmug's not going to have any lasting wounds or scars of any nature. But before he heads off, well done, y'all. Great job.
Thank you.
You did spectacular, all of you.
We did.
He has a big grin on his face. Are you heading back inside the house?
Yeah.
Slightly apprehensively, yeah.
Why are you apprehensive?
Knowing what's inside the house.
Okay. So,
He doesn't believe... Marcel does not believe that Belle and Mason are a threat. But he is not sure about this dear man. And he thinks that possibly he poses as much threat to them as he does to the Foundlings.
okay. Well, as you go and sit at the table to a nice warm bowl of soup, appears to be a bit, almost like a pureed veggie soup, using some of the leftover vegetables that were brought back that Belle wouldn't be able to store long term. She notices that you seem very on edge. She rolls a 28 on insight.
Fair.
And looks at you with concern on her face. Does she keep her mouth closed? She does not. She looks at
So
you.
funny.
Hey, come on. What's wrong with you? You okay?
Me?
Yeah.
But
You seem off.
I'm okay.
Roll deception.
I have 0 deception. 16.
You fail. You try your best to bluff that you are okay. However, this mother, who is very clearly picking up on this, sees straight through you, and almost immediately you realize that she's seen through you,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks a little upset. Oh, you don't think I'm dangerous, do you?
No.
Well, you can talk. You can talk to Mama Belle.
It's this man upstairs. It's just a bit scary.
She frowns a little bit. Man upstairs?
We met the man upstairs.
And you hear her huff through her nostrils, like a bull. The full sound through her nose, as she looks slightly annoyed. Now, why are you all rooting around upstairs in other people's rooms?
We were looking for cool things, and then we heard the voice, and the door was open, so we went to say hi, and then...
Do you
Yeah.
not see the do not disturb flowers outside?
The what?
There are little flowers outside. I normally put them outside the rooms as a do not disturb.
We did not know that.
Oh, well, it had the opposite effect. I really
Yes.
like flowers. So I was like,
They looked spacey, and
wow,
we love
how nice.
space, so...
She lets out a little sigh. Well,
Did they say do not disturb? Did they say anything? And he's just like talking to himself.
all I know is that I found him out in the cold, bleeding to death. I brought him in, patched him up, and he's been He's been nothing but kind. He was a little harsh on the outside, but he seems to be thoughtful. Why? What's wrong with him? And she's looking at you with a very strong stare, as though she is expecting an answer and will not take silence or no explanation as an answer.
And he already knows he can't lie. And he sort of like frantically looks to the others.
What Marcel told me is that apparently Antlers upstairs was part of the bandits that raided our home.
She ponders.
But, they ordered him to go look for us and kill us, and he didn't, and that's why he got beat up. So,
And she seems to be mulling something over. Well, as far as I'm concerned, y'all both have as much space in this house. While you're here, no fighting.
Of course.
yeah,
And
we weren't
Marcel-
gonna fight him.
Marcel just sort of puts his hands together and nods.
Whilst you're in my house,
I helped heal him.
there is to be no fighting, or I will break it up. And it doesn't seem that threatening, but Mason, who is you can see from the other room, goes a little pale in the face seeing that. So either that's a menacing threat, or she's just taught her kids well. You're not quite sure. And simply put, maybe you should go and talk to him at some point when he's ready to, rather than poking around places. I don't mind you going around my house, but if I leave those spacey colored flowers outside a door, it normally means not to go in.
Okay, it was my
Okay.
fault, really. I opened the door and then didn't catch it in time, and then...
No, it's nobody's fault.
No, I'm sorry.
She looks at you with an almost scolding look as you start trying to apologize. No, it was my fault for not telling y'all that those flowers are supposed to be a don't go in. It's a little family tradition I started because I don't like the way those signs look. Those little things you hook on the door. They're never reliable.
What are those flowers?
Hmm?
They're very pretty.
Oh, well, they're an astral bloom, darling. I have a couple of them in the house.
Astral bloom.
They're supposed to be a good luck for growing plants. Something about being faithful to our own goddess of the harvest. Something like that. All I know is since I picked them up, my crops have been blooming constantly. Whenever it's season, I hardly ever have any dud plants.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
And it's sort of forgotten about what the conversation was before, and it's sort of
I like them so much, they're my new favorite flower.
And she smiles. Well, I've had a couple dry pressed, and I'm trying to see if I can make like a little mold around them to preserve them for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll see if I can't get some for you to take with you.
That would be amazing.
And she smiles. Now, I do believe y'all should go and take a little rest.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the soup.
Oh, it's my pleasure, darling. Be going to waste otherwise. And so She gets up, goes off, and I'm presuming you're going to finish your soup.
Mm-hmm.
And a little while goes by as the day continues. It's quite quiet. When you hear some voices from out on the porch. Mason gets up, goes off, comes back a little while later, and the place is quiet. You can hear the little wind chimes outside the house ringing as the wind blows through them. He comes over to you all. So, you guys ever been to Wormwood?
History check.
No.
Florian would be correct. None of you have ever been there. You've never actually been to a big town.
No.
Well, in a couple of days' time, I happen to be going that way. Take some of the produce that Mima's made, go sell it on the market. If you want, I could take you all with me.
Sounds good. We should
Sounds like fun.
maybe we can ask around,
Yeah,
see if
what I was
anyone's
thinking.
seen Helga.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That way you guys can have a little look around, figure out what you want to do. It means you got a new place to get familiar with. Be a little bit extra compared to normal, but I don't mind waiting around. That sound good with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds good.
He smiles. Excellent. Well. I suppose I best go help pack up the car tomorrow. And he lumbers out the room, leaving the five of you together in the living room with your big floor bed.
Nice. You alright, Marcel?
Yeah. I think I'm just a little on edge from what happened the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm seeing threats further on. And how long are we staying for, by the way?
How long are we staying here?
The longer we wait, the further away she gets.
Well, until Mason takes us to Wormwood, and then there'll be an inn or something.
If you're not coming back, to going to Wormwood.
Depends how it goes.
Can you guys make me an intelligence check, please?
Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All three of you.
Big number. Well, moderate number.
Big money. No, not big money. Small money.
Where is my intelligence? Big? Reasonable. Okay. 19.
19. Marcel?
14.
Scoria?
Non-natural 20.
Damn. You will realize very quickly that your plan to go and chase down Helga by potentially getting an inn at Wormwood is a good plan. Apart from the fact you have no money. And no lead.
Oh! We
Meaning
have no money.
that you would get there potentially say goodbye to Mason, and then strand yourselves with nowhere to sleep. Once again, back out in the cold.
And there may be those bad people looking for us. At least here we are hidden and safe.
Well, we can't find Helga if we stay here.
We would not be staying here permanently, just till we get our strength up, and maybe we can get like pocket money or something, or just get money from doing odd jobs. We're not going to get anywhere without money.
I could sell hats. Maybe.
How many hats do you have to sell? I could make you hats to sell.
I can't sell my hat. I'd have to make a hat.
I'll make you a hat.
No,
How
I
much
have
little
a hat.
stars on it. No, okay.
And so you'll want.
Alright, do you want a hat?
What?
I guess I'm just making hats now. Do you want a hat?
No.
Okay.
No, we need to sell the hat.
Yes, sell the hats, yes.
But we have to buy materials.
That's what I was now thinking about, where I can get material for making hats.
And as you're pondering this, you realize that the sun is setting. And it'll be a
Did
little
Mason
while.
say he was going in a couple days, or like tomorrow, or?
In a couple days, but he's got to take a couple days to get everything ready, because the trip itself, whilst short in nature, it takes a little while to make sure to do checks over the cart to make sure it's safe for driving, essentially. And so you end up settling in bed a little earlier to get some rest after the difficult day.
Or
And as you're nestling down, getting cozy, you go to sleep, drift off. However, Marcel, you find that you can't sleep.
So he's tossing and turning and trying his best not to bump into anybody and wake them up as well.
And from your mind, you cannot remove the thought of the deer man upstairs. There is a gnawing part of you that has to know why. Why he attacked. Why he attacked. Why he was working with the bandits. Just a general question of why runs through your mind.
Okay.
And you cannot seem to silence it. And as you sit up while you're pondering, Florian is sound asleep. Hugmug is sound asleep. Mocha is sound asleep. Scoria is sound asleep. It seems like it will be very difficult to wake any of them up as of this point.
Gonna go get himself a drink of water. And pace a little bit while he's deciding what to do.
And as you're pacing, you stand on a creaky board that makes you flinch a little bit.
Whips his head round to see if anyone else has woken up.
You are very fortunate that none of them have been disturbed.
So he stops pacing and just sits himself up on the counter. But he's just sort of staring up at the ceiling, roughly where the deer man's room is. Just thinking.
You hear a sound. It sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs.
Going to listen intently.
It appears that the dear man is walking around in his room and is very clearly trying to be stealthy, but he can only deal with hooves on wood floorboards so much, and you can hear the sound. It does not appear to be disturbing any of your companions.
What does it sound like he's doing?
You're not sure.
Is it like a back and forth thing, or does it just happen like once?
I would need you to roll me an insight check.
That is a 16.
It sounds like the room itself is being examined. They are measured steps around the circumference of the room.
Examined. Can you only hear one set of
Yes.
steps?
You can hear a very loud guttural snore in the other room, where Mason is asleep. And you presume the Belle is asleep, though she is not making any sort of sound. But she is also asleep upstairs.
Would I be able to sleep if I tried to just go to sleep and ignore the feeling?
No. You would not.
Well, found Marcel's character to be almost lethally curious, so up the stairs he slinks once more.
And as you slink up there, leaving your siblings to sleep, you realize that the door is closed. But you may be able to open it, if you are careful.
Going to gently put his ear to the door.
You also notice that the flowers are not there anymore. They are outside of Belle's bedroom door.
He's going to put his ear to the door, see if he can hear anything.
You can hear some disgruntled muttering. In Sylvan, interestingly enough. It sounds like he's panicking slightly. Like, it's the same sort of hushed, quiet whispers of somebody who's freaking out but can't make noise.
What's he saying? I understand Sylvan.
You manage to vaguely make out what sounds like something along the lines of, I have to get out of here. Have to go. I get moving. Where? I can't even get out of this room. Where? And things along that like. As though he is trying to figure out how he can get out of this room without causing sound.
It's a 15 on sleight of hand to open the door.
The door opens without issue. You
Listening very intently for any signs that he's been spotted.
roll stealth.
Any sharp intakes of breath. Any sudden movements. 23.
23. Okay.
First good rolls I've had all day.
You enter the room very slowly, very carefully, and you find a large silhouette hidden against one of the walls, as though he is trying his best to hide from you, but he's not succeeding because he is very large. And unfortunately, the single very weak candle in this room illuminates his silhouette slightly, enough that you can see him clear as day, but he has very clearly not seen you. He has just seen the door open, and that's it.
Hello?
And you see him visibly flinch. What are you doing here?
I could not sleep. I wanted to ask you some things, and I heard that you were clearly struggling to sleep as well.
He walks up to you, but keeps enough distance that the shadows of the room cover him, apart from his face.
And is he still looking... what's the word? Hesitant or on edge?
Not so much. There seems to be less intent to be domineering here.
And Marcel's going to sit cross-legged on the floor.
Which makes him look even larger.
He takes this in for a sec.
What are you doing?
I do not intend to harm you. Showing that I am not a threat. What am I going to do to you from here? I can even cross my arms if it helps.
You notice that there are large scars around the base of around his hooves. Large, deep gouges that seem almost repetitive, as though somebody has decided to spend days or weeks at a time cutting away at the flesh around his feet. And they're very clearly fully healed and are old wounds, but they catch your fascination as the silvery coloured exposed flesh has not regrown fur. And he just looks down at you.
Marcel just stares at it for a sec.
What?
Sorry, I got a bit distracted. I wanted to ask you. Why did you come for us?
I did not come for you.
Why did you come for Matron?
I am a member
Close to
of
the mic.
I am a member of the Shattered Antler. I take contracts to deal with potential criminal targets.
What is the Shattered Antler?
It is an assassin's guild.
Assassins?
The
But you did not kill her.
No. I incapacitated her. As far as I was aware, she was a terrorist.
Where have they taken her? We just want to get her back.
He grimaces. I don't think you want to know that.
What? Why? He looks up. Almost crushed expression on his face.
And it's at this point that your eyes have fully adjusted to the dark. And as you are looking up at him, you realize that you are looking at a completely stark naked man. He is, for lack of better description, he is in his birthday suit, bar the bandages that are wrapping up his body. It's very clear that this man was not expecting to be caught in the dark. It has been you can see very meticulous, the way that he has approached this, he's been very meticulous to leave as little trace of him examining his routes out of this room as possible.
I'm taking in...
Sorry.
Taking in the sight seems to spark a little something in Marcel's brain, and his cheeks redden just a little bit. And then he sort of shakes it off and continues what he was doing. Why don't I want to know?
He ponders for a moment and crouches down.
Is she at least alive?
Duh.
Okay.
She is alive.
He breathes a sigh of relief.
He looks at you. You are afraid of me, aren't you?
You're quite big and scary, and you took control of my body without permission.
I see.
I don't know how you did that.
I
And
see.
he like quiets himself down because he realizes he's getting a bit loud.
You would be smart to not trust me. You would be smart to not trust me. I am literally trained to kill, maim, murder, and incapacitate. It is my lifeblood. It is all I have ever known. But you are a fascinating specimen.
He
Yes.
cocks his head.
You exhibit fear. You find me scary. And yet here you are, interrogating me in my own bedroom.
And he gulps. A bead of sweat running down one side of his face. Well, yes, but finding information is more important than being scared of you.
He gives you a wicked grin. Is that so?
Never lets him see your fear. He sort of says it out loud, but he's mainly telling himself.
And you see a flicker of recognition in his eyes. As though this is something that he is familiar with. It only works so well. To contain your fear is to not acknowledge it. You can be scared. I have no intent to harm you. As sure as I am that any other member of the Shattered Antler would have complied and slaughtered you all, you are but innocents in that scenario. And he sits on the floor in front of you. And much to your fortune, he puts one of his arms over his lap, covering his crotch. So you are not as potentially distracted by seeing this man in his birthday suit, as you may have been prior.
Yes.
And he extends a hand and points to one of the cabinets nearby. There is a jar.
And his head cocks the
In
other
a
way.
crate. There is a crate in there with a jar inside of it. Could you pass it to me? I cannot get inside the cabinet myself, because my antlers get in the way.
And he almost smiles at this and crawls over to the cabinet. Still not getting to his feet.
And he is observing you intently.
Like, even though he knows he's not a threat, he's doing everything he can to not seem like a threat. He goes over to the cabinet, attempts to open it.
Yep, it opens with a little click.
What does he see?
And there appears to be a small container filled with lots of different bottles of something that smells Some of which smell vaguely alcoholic, some of them smell heavily alcoholic, like Helga's personal wine cupboard.
I imagine Marcel's probably been in that wine cupboard a couple of times
Yes,
without telling.
just to smell it.
Yes, just to smell it.
Mm.
I'm sure he has tried some of it before.
With or
Out
without
of curiosity.
Probably. I'm
Probably
hoping-
without, unless she gave permission.
I mean,
If she
would
said
give-
no, he might have still snuck in there and went, but I want to
I'd imagine she'd give permission if you asked, politely. And then there is one bottle. A jar. With what appears to be a brownish-coloured waxy goo inside of it. And you look at the label, and it reads in Sylvan, antler salve. To mend cracked antlers in just a few minutes. Appears to be a magically infused cure of some sort.
Do you want the crate or just the jar?
Just as a jar.
Takes the jar, puts the crate back, closes the cabinet.
Wouldn't help me to be drinking. Though that woman would kick my ass. No questions asked.
But she's not scary. She wouldn't hurt you.
He looks at you as though you are the most oblivious and adorable thing he's ever seen.
She's nice. She's been feeding us and helped us. Not a bad person.
No, but not somebody you'd want to get on the wrong side of. If you would. And
He hands the jar.
he takes it, pops the cap out of it, and you almost get like a cinnamony smell come out of it. He starts applying the salve to his cracked antlers, and you watch over the span of a few minutes as they reseal. No, it is just waiting for my wounds to heal.
And then you're going to leave, right?
Sorry, say again?
And then you're going to leave, right?
He looks at you curiously.
And he kind of stares him dead in the eyes this time.
What? You don't like the fact that I am here?
No, I overheard you muttering to yourself about how you desperately must get out of here.
Florian, correct? Or is it
Me?
the...
Marcel.
Should have to remember that name. Yes. I need to leave. For one simple purpose. The people that hired me, you may think of them like a cult. And they are after a very specific collection of people. Your matron, or whatever you refer to her by, happen to know one of these people. And from what I understand, they are going to try and blackmail her to get information out. But you and your companions, siblings, evaded their grasp because I chose not to convince you that your guts were falling out.
What?
He ponders for a moment.
And he looks down at his stomach. Looks back at the deer man.
He looks you directly in the eyes, and with a very harsh tone. Do you trust me?
You have had several opportunities to hurt us already.
He
You
raises
helped us.
He raises his hands up to show he has no weapons on him. Even to the point of standing up and doing a very slow turn to show he has nothing hidden on him
And Marcel catches himself looking again.
before he sits back down.
I think I do.
then try not to freak out.
Why?
Make a wisdom save. With advantage.
Pretty sure it's impossible for me to save this. But that would be a 21.
You succeed. As Xavier begins to explain to you the nature of the illusion, and you get the horrific view of your what appears to be your flesh rotting away with large holes forming in your body. And he very gently puts a hand on your knee. Stop.
What are you doing?
And then the
I don't want to
illusion.
die.
Then the illusion fades. You realize that you are complete. You are fine.
That was
Horrific.
scary.
That was what they were planning on having me do to get you out of that hole. Convince one of you that your guts were falling out so you would all give up immediately.
You know we were in there?
I did. They did not. For you see, it is not that difficult to pick up on very specific magical signatures. Yours reminds me of somebody that I know.
So, who were they?
They are part of a cult, known as the Order of the Crystal. I cannot tell you anymore without a promise from you and your companions.
Well, I cannot speak for them, but
Let me speak plainly. I have to get out of here and find somebody that is of importance to me. There is somebody that I am close with that I wish to find. Me finding them may be the difference between them living and dying. Simple enough.
so we're in the same boat.
Duh. Fortunately for you, I happen to know where you might find this information on your matron.
I'm listening.
So, you and I are going to make a deal. And you're going to have to convince your siblings to agree. You will help me find this person. In return, I will help you take revenge upon those who have kidnapped that person, the person that you love.
I do not want revenge. I just want her back.
They will not give her to you. She is too valuable to them. Like gold. Or I guess in this case, your insides.
I will make them give her back.
And the moment you say that, he looks you in the eyes. And there's a slight flicker of something. You amuse me.
And from him saying that, Xavier would be able to notice that Marcel has now clenched both of his fists very tightly while he's looking at the floor, thinking about what he might have to do.
And you notice as you feel something approach. A singular finger from a hand upturned lifts your chin up to make eye contact with him. So, little man, do we have a deal?
Yeah, we have a deal.
And you shake hands. He stands.
Before we stop, who is this Lux person?
Somebody you do not want to fuck with. Let me put it plain and clear.
But if he took her, then he's somebody we need to fuck with.
And this time, the slight layer of kindness on his face turns to one of viciousness. Do you want to die? Do you
No.
have a death wish?
No.
Then stay the fuck away from him. You see this? And with a single hand, he rips the bandages from his body. You see these deep, gouging wounds, clearly inflicted by some sort of broad blade.
Oh my god.
Singe marks, what seems like somebody's frozen parts of him, scorch marks from what appears to be some sort of electrical spell, sections of stone jutting out from certain wounds, what appear to be harsh, damp marks across underneath those wounds from both blood and what appears to be some sort of other spell of some sort. It looks like somebody's basically played a game of surgeon using elemental spells on his body. All of these wounds were from one spell. One attack.
One
That
spell?
was it. Do you understand, little mouse?
And he looks at the floor again. Yes, I understand.
He crouches back down, raises your chin to make you meet eyes. No, remember, don't show fear. Smile. Does Marcel smile?
He does.
And you catch him mutter something under his breath. Please make me a hearing-based perception check.
What have I got? 9. 16.
You hear him mutter the word adorable under his breath before he stands, clearly under the belief that you did not hear what he just said. It is late. You should get back to bed.
Okay, I am satisfied. Good night, Mr. And then he like sort of puts his
Xavier.
hands on his head, like trying to think.
Xavier Esbern.
Savior, 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 Savior. It's in there now. Savior. Good night. And he sort of slinks back out of the room and closes the door.
And you realise that he has closed the door as well. But you feel something on your tail as you exit the room.
Hmm?
You find a little metal ring has been slipped on the end of your tail.
And he sort of... So I assume he has full control of his tail.
Yes, your tail is prehensile to some degree.
And so he curves it up. So it's like in line with his chest and slides it off with his hand. And looks at it.
And you realise that the ring itself appears to have some sort of magical aura to it. You're not quite sure what it is.
I don't have... I can read magic, I can't detect it or understand it. I guess I'll get Florian to look at it. Or I could just ask.
You could.
What is the door?
You don't hear anything from the other side.
Curiosity getting the better of him once more. He sticks it on his finger.
And you turn invisible.
And he just keeps doing it. Ring on, ring off, ring on, ring off, ring on, ring off. This is incredible.
And in your mind, you hear his voice. Very briefly, mind you. But just long enough. Before you realize that it's not in your mind, this voice. It appears to have come from right next to you. For when you feel like revisiting me. To converse. And that's it. You can hear him move. You hear the squeaking of springs.
And Marcel slinks back downstairs.
And so, you end up getting back into bed and sleep quite comfortably.
Quickly testing it. So wondering if he can turn it on and off, or if it has to be on-off with the ring.
It is an on-off situation with the ring.
So he, after figuring this out, takes it off one more time and remind myself what clothes I wear. And pockets it.
Okay.
Actually, he doesn't pocket it.
Hmm?
He goes in. Does he? No, there's no sewing kits. Okay. No, yeah, he just pockets it. I was gonna get him to put a little pouch for it so it wouldn't get lost.
Okay. Well, it comes next morning. It's the 3rd of December, 67 AR. And everybody wakes up, goes through the usual morning routine. Wakes up, get changed, get taken through for breakfast, get to bathe a little bit. And it's during this time where Mason looks quite chuffed with himself as he's sitting at the table. Well, y'all ready? Y'all looking forward to tomorrow? Be like a little road trip. As he looks around, the five of you at the table.
Yeah, huh?
Sounds exciting.
I agree.
Now, I happen to notice that the other night you were probably not the smartest thing for me to do, but I happen to notice that you were talking about having troubles with some funding for your little adventure. And I thought,
Yes, we have no money at all.
well, I thought that maybe if you could help me out selling some of the stuff that me and Mimar have put together for our next selling spree, as it were. When we go out into the town, I'd be happy to give you a cut.
Really?
Of course.
Awesome. I'm very persuasive with my eyes, and I big baby eyes.
And he smiles. So, and he's about to start saying something. Rethinks what he's about to say and realizes it's probably best that he doesn't say anything. Like he's like, actually. So, I hope y'all aren't squeamish at looking at each other, right?
What does that mean?
Well, Mima's pretty proper about making sure that we don't waste water. So when the rest of us siblings were living here, it was we go bathing 2 at a time. Me and my brother, bubble bath fight.
I mean, I do not have a problem with it, but
Well, you 2 ladies will have to go together. And then I suppose the little guy and the big guy. I gotta remember your name. Name's Florian, right? And he looks
Mhm.
at you. You wanna go with the big fella?
What, hug mug?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then you hear Belle shout from upstairs. That means that you'll have to go. Mason, that means you'll have to go with whoever's left. I did not think of that. And he looks a little red in the face as he processes the fact that he is about of what he's just said. It's like, that or I go with the big guy. He seems never mind. I should not be looking at the chat.
No. You lay down the rules. Probably follow them.
And he just sighs, realizing that as he has the realization, and you can all see Belle standing at the bottom of the stairs, looking at him expectantly, as if there's a silent conversation between the two of them happening, where she is 100% putting the foot down of yes, you are doing this because I'm not wasting hot water. Well, that's awkward. Anyway. Whilst Meemaw's sorting the bathwater out. I suppose that, I best get sorting out the firewood. And he heads out. Going out into the backyard to continue preparing the carriage, which you can see has this big forest green covered canopy over like a wooden cart base, and it's a big cart. As you can see him loading up some supplies onto it. Marcel,
Mm-hmm.
your conversation with Xavier the other night goes through your mind. You are going to have to at some point convince your siblings and companions to help this man out. Else you will break your deal.
Not the kind of person he thinks that it would be a good idea to break a deal with.
Are you going to bring it up with them, or are you going to keep silent on it for a little while?
Silent on it for a little while, just until there is a situation where the five of us are alone, and actually alone, not with someone else in the next room.
Okay. So
Somewhere where no one can overhear.
okay. So the discussion at the table begins once again of how you're going to find Matron, how to do things from there. I'm wondering, like, there's a couple of jokes being thrown back and forth between Hugmug and Mocha as they attempt to try and figure out how to pitch certain things. And Mocha starts talking about how tasty some of the food is. Meanwhile, Hugmug is having a little chuckle at Mocha's expense to basically trying to figure out how to stop her from eating the stock with her habitual appetite. What would you guys like to do?
And we... Does Mason need any help?
You can go find out.
I'll go find out.
Okay. So, you totter your way outside to see big old Mason tossing a bunch of, like, crates and stuff into the back of the carriage. and then he notices you as he's coming back to pick up something else, and almost picks you up in the process. Oh, whoops. Sorry. What you doing?
Can I help you?
Oh, sure. There's actually someone I wanted to check. Was gonna ask one of you guys to help me check out. Come here. And he very gently lifts you up and puts you on the back of the carriage, as you would not realistically be able to climb into this thing on your own without a good run up and jump, because it's about 4.5 to 5 foot off the ground.
That's that's actually quite okay.
It's a big step up for Mason to get on there, because he's got to hook his leg over a little bit. So
Like a foot taller than me.
he is many feet taller than you. Oh, the barrier,
No, but
yes. Yes, the bottom of the cart is about a foot and a bit taller than you, roughly. And you notice there is quite a fair bit of room in the back of this, and you see this little lineup of beds, like little bed rolls that have been rolled out. You reckon that's enough room for everybody?
Probably.
And you watch as he climbs into the back of the carriage, and it dips a little bit as he gets in. Oh shit! Should probably put the. And he reaches down. You hear a little metallic and wooden click, and the cart balances itself back out again. I forgot to enable that. Mine's just one of the beds out, see if they're comfortable. Whilst we're here, I'm sure Ma won't mind if I take a couple of blankets with, if the floor ain't comfortable.
Oh, I can sleep almost anywhere.
Same for the others?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose I'll have to go and ask them.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, whilst you're there, and he gets back out and starts passing up the smaller items to you, for you to put in the
Cool.
corners. Meanwhile, back in the room, Marcel and Scoria. What would you two like to do?
Uh, I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm not sure either, to be honest, but
So the two of you are sitting there a little unsure what to do with yourselves.
there's nothing immediate
Yeah.
going on.
This is the first period of calm the two of you have had for a little while. Mocha is just relaxing. Surprisingly enough, she seems very invested in a cooking book that Belle gave her early in the morning. And Hugmug has gone upstairs to help Belle with a couple of things, mainly making sure that all your supplies are properly packed into new bags that she's very vaguely alluded to. The Hugmug has shouted down that you've got new backpacks that are basically your old ones that have been fixed up a little bit, as they were a little ragged from the storm. The two of you sit there together, looking a little puzzled. It's suddenly so calm.
This is weird.
Yes.
Everything's been so crazy this last few days. It's... I feel like something's about to happen or supposed to happen. Want to play a game?
Sure.
I spy with my little eye. and Marcel starts playing a game of I Spy, I'm not going to subject you to it.
And so the two of you end up playing that together for a little bit. And as you're playing, the word cellar, like cellar door.
Cellar.
Yeah. Because there is a little door off towards the hallway that goes around to the front of the counter. There is a little door that leads down into a cellar where Belle keeps all of the cheeses and things like that, and other dairy products in like a cool storage. And I'm going to say Scoria is the one that points it out. It's like starting with C, and you get like 3 goes, and then she tells you when you inevitably can't get it. And a thought crosses your mind of one particular conversation you had with Helga when you were a few years younger, when it came to asserting understanding boundaries. And she was telling you about one place in the house you were not allowed to go. And you were the only one who found it, but she swore you to secrecy.
Do I remember what was down there?
You were never allowed in, but she told you that it was her personal space, where she kept all of the records and details of her past journeys, as like a little place for her to go when she wanted to relive some of her past ventures, and is how she remembered all of the tales of her journeys that she would tell to you as bedtime stories, like the time where she wrestled a dragon and won, and things like that. Silly little things that you wouldn't think twice about, but she had a whole, almost, as she described it, like a tiny library in the basement that was full of all of basically full of her past.
Cellar. We never checked the cellar. And he like raises his head to look directly at Scoria. Remember? Helga had a cellar. She said that's where she keeps all of her personal things. It probably survived the fire. Maybe we should go back and see what was inside. It might help us find her. At least let us... Maybe something happened in her history that caused whatever the fuck happened to happen? I don't know.
I mean, we can try, but I do not know if that would be a good idea. Since, after all, was her space. But she was always a bit mad if we, well, be quiet. And even though she may not be here with us in the moment, it still feels disrespectful.
But if it's something in there helps us get her back, is that not worth it? Does her privacy mean more than her life?
It will be worth it. It just doesn't mean I have to be comfortable with it myself.
And with that little realization, you may have your first lead. Your first clue. as to where she may have gone and who these people are. And that's when you hear a ruckus outside. People hollering and yelling. Florian and Mason have re-entered the room as they heard the noise.
Or hollering and yelling.
And Belle, looking a little annoyed, goes outside. Out the front entrance. Are any of you following after her?
I'll look out a window.
Yeah,
Stealthily.
window.
Yeah, window.
Okay, so you
All
stealth.
three of us were squished up by the window, looking through.
Totally. Florian just climbs on top of you both.
So the three of you go to the window, to the nearest window that you can look out of, that's facing the front entrance. And there are two people that look like bandits.
Do they resemble the people that were at the house?
Roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
That's a fail.
Don't
I
assume
rolled
it's
a
a fail.
3. It's a 10.
Don't assume it's a
It's a
fail.
10.
This is something I will teach you all once more. Don't assume it's a fail unless it's a natural one.
Okay.
Love you.
10.
Well, yes, you succeed. You notice that they both are wearing necklaces very similar to that which Mocha picked up.
Oh shit. It's them.
And Belle has gone out there on her own. Completely defenseless.
That guest that is upstairs. Do you believe that he is with them still?
No, I do not. Should we go get him? We may need all the help we can get.
Yes. That would be a wise choice.
And
After all, I assume he doesn't want to get caught by them as well.
Yeah. And Marcel, without another word. Well, first of all, shifts Florian's weight onto just Scoria so he doesn't just fucking drop to the floor.
I'm picturing like little back, like, you know when you see kids getting like hoisted up onto like parents' shoulders. I'm imagining Scoria's doing that with Florian. Sorry, I don't know why that's so cute to me. I'm just picturing that. So Florian holding onto
Just
the
a
tall
large
Scoria.
cat on her shoulder.
Yeah, that's adorable. Sorry. Anyway, carry on. So you
And
go and
Marcel
find it.
sprints up the stairs.
So you sprint up the stairs,
Doesn't knock, just opens the door.
and you're fortunate enough this time that the dear man is in fact clothed. As you barge in, and he is wearing a large green cloak and what appears to be some thermal loose-fitting trousers and a vest that appears to has like a slight solid shape around the heart. You realise there's a metal plate underneath the shirt as he looks at you. Hello again.
We need your help. They are here. The crystal men. They're outside.
He frowns
Bella's gone to talk to them.
and shrugs. She'll be fine. And he carries on.
Really?
Duh. I have no reason to be concerned. And it seems rather heartless. And the first thought that goes through your mind is, what good are his illusions going to be if they kill her first? Roll persuasion.
It's 5.
That succeeds. As you can't help it, but a little tear comes out of your eye. as the thought of losing yet another mother figure.
Please help. I do not want anybody else to get hurt.
And he turns around, looks at you. Of course, little mouse. If it really upsets you that much, I don't wish for the person that I formed an alliance with to shed tears. Unless they are tears of laughter. Or tears of terror. That I cause.
And he's not paying attention to anything he's saying right now. He's just sort of hyperventilating.
He follows. But before he follows, he places a hand on your shoulder and casts a spell. And the feelings of irritation the feelings of irritation, rage, and fear that fill your body seem to dull. And you seem to almost... It feels as though that fear, those upset emotions seem to fade.
And he wipes the tear off of his face.
I can't stand to watch children cry.
And comes down the stairs.
Not children, but I hate to see people cry. It's annoying. Stop that. And he follows you downstairs. You go back to the window. And the deer man keeps a respectful distance from the rest of your group that are looking out the window. You watch Belle go meet them on the front porch. You can't quite hear what they're saying. But you watch as one of them pulls a knife. And runs up to try and stab the very large Bovian woman. And that feeling of fear and terror rushes through you all as you're mentally preparing yourselves to watch the place that you've just taken refuge in burn again. Only for there to be a very strong twang of confusion as you watch the man who pulled the knife get suplexed into the floor with a devastating level of speed, which makes the other man hesitate before drawing his own dagger and sprinting towards her. And you watch as he gets grabbed by the collar. She spins and throws him far enough that you aren't really able to see him anymore. But you just see this poof of snow from where he lands. She dusts her hands off and walks back in. Well, I never. Honestly. Y'all okay? As she looks like completely unfazed by what just happened.
How did you do that?
Well, you ain't. Well, you don't end up being a mother of 8 children and rearing behemoths without having some sort of secret little town. And she punches into her own hand.
He looks, Marcel looking out the window at the man arse up in the snow, got suplexed. Is he alive?
She shrugs.
He's not moving.
Probably. Probably just trying to figure out what just happened. Honestly. The nerve of some people.
And he looks at... Oh god, I forgot his name.
The dear man.
Yep.
Xavier.
Xavier. Yeah, I know his name. Why do I forget his name? He just sort of shares a look with Xavier.
Xavier shrugs.
And like, oh, this is why she'd be fine.
And in that moment, once Belle has kind of re-scanned the room, she looks at Xavier with a surprisingly menacing glare. Now, what have I told you about being out of bed? You're supposed to be recovering. But, nope. No buts. Back up there. Now.
My fault.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
There was no flowers. I went and got them. Thought they were in danger.
And you watch as, rather begrudgingly, Xavier goes back upstairs And you can hear the door close as as he goes back into the room. Honestly.
We thought you were in danger, so I went and got them.
Oh, well, ain't I fan of you? And she ruffles your hair. But you see, I've wrestled with behemoths. I'm perfectly fine, sweetheart. You don't rear and raise them for their meat and milk without having a wrangle with you.
Those are the same people that burned down our house. And kidnapped our matron.
I'll be right back. She goes outside, and you see the butt sticking out of the snow get met with a hoof. Twice. One for each cheek. Before she picks him up by the hood, which seems to be partially choking the man. As you can see his face. It's a human.
It's human. Okay, I was going to say
It's a
what's his
human.
race.
It's a human male. Like if I were to say to you a generic guy called Steve. Like brown hair.
Steve was not
Blue
ready
eyes.
for today.
Getting dragged by the hood. And the other one who basically gets picked up by the back of the neck. Like the same way you pick up an agitated cat by its scruff. And she basically carries them both into the building, sits them down on the floor of the shop, and ties them to each other. Except from one is on their back, legs up in the air, and his legs are tied to his compatriot's back. So like they're both in an L shape. Just one of them happens to be back to the floor. The other one is sitting up normally. Well, I'll leave you guys to get your information. And she just struts off.
What the fuck?
Leaving the five of you with the two now bound captives.
Who is going to and Florian just looks around. Gorian? Maybe?
Marcel draws his dagger. And puts it up to one of the men's face. Where is she? Where did you take her? I want answers now!
Aw. Well now, ain't you adorable? But, who?
A matron. Her name is Helga.
Oh. Ain't my assignment, buddy. I'm here for the leftover venison. We're told that a traitor belongs here. Somebody who decided to go against his great lord's name. And we've come to wipe out the purge the scourge. Yeah, purge the scourge, says his buddy who's on the floor, who is a
Very good
halfling.
job of it, did you?
So you got two males, one's human, the other one's a halfling. The halfling is basically strapped to his other companion like a backpack. That's why he's legs first. Yeah, mate. Ain't no way that anybody who opposes our lord is gonna survive for more than a couple days. That or your money back. Wait.
Who's your lord?
Well, the Great Prism. Scoria, roll me a religion check.
Please.
Religions +3. 6.
You recognize this name.
Oh.
As it is one of the when you were first looking at deities that you want of deities of potential worship, you noticed one name kept coming up quite often: Crystal Hoss, the mighty prism, which can also be referred to in many different ways, like the same way that these two have just the little halfling who's strapped to his friend's back is referring to him. These people worship the Great Prism, or the mighty prism dragon that is Crystal Hoss. Well. What we got here? I'm a backpack. Set us free right now. We got a guy to kill, and we'll leave your idiot asses alone. Although that milky bitch is definitely going to be on my list.
And you think we should trust you, even though you just tried to stab the lady that's looking after us? Tell me, what will your god do, knowing you failed?
Well, mate. Bob, help us out. Nah, mate. Steve, you're on your own. Bob.
You get little smack on the butts and, oh no, you failed. Better luck next time. Or will you be flayed and hung up in the streets?
And at this point, you notice...
Let's go attempt an intimidation check.
Okay. Roll intimidation.
Yeah, look. Hopefully the words are enough, because that's a 4. No bonus.
It's enough. Because they've already had the shit beaten out of them by Belle. And if Belle is looking after you, your DC was a 3. They are terrified. Specifically, Bob is terrified. The little Bob the halfling, who starts trying to flail his legs to get free of the bonds, but ends up just kicking Steve, the human, in the back. No, please! They'll throw us off the nearest cliff.
Well, would they know you succeeded or not? Or is it just by your own word of mouth?
Well.
Because maybe, if you tell us everything you want to know, we'll consider letting you go.
I'll consider your mum. It sounded cooler in my head. No. Xavier is not there.
He's not there.
No, he
went back upstairs.
Did he?
He was ordered to
he
march
did.
back to his room. But you realise that the person they're here for is not you guys. They're here for Xavier. So,
Oh, his name is Xavier, by the way.
you have two big options here. You can sell them out, and they'll be on their way. They might give you information, they might not. Or you can interrogate them and protect the person that aided in your home's destruction. I say air quotes protect. Might be useful to have someone of that standing owe you a favour. Those are the two big routes, I guess, that I see. But if you see a third or fourth or whatever, go for it.
I mean, I'm in favour of interrogating them.
Me too.
Score it.
What?
Are you in favour of interrogating them or handing Xavier over to them?
Interrogating, but I'm totally not thinking about murder.
That will come later.
There you go, there's some intimidation. They see, like, the death stare coming from Scoria.
Yeah, I'm just okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm picturing Scoria has just been silently staring at them, like, laser vision, please.
I mean, I could retcon the Xavier and just say Scoria instead.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Scoria?
Well, why have you done this to me?
He's basically inviting you to hit them.
A little bit of hissing never hurt anyone. That's great. But, oh, we should do this outside. No point in getting the floor more dirty.
You would have to drag them.
Oh, let's drag them face first in the floor.
Yeah, you can do that.
Through the dirt,
Psycho.
through the stones.
Are you dragging the human face down or the halfling face down? You cannot
the
drag them both.
halfway?
The halfling. So you watch as not only are you dragging the halfling face first across the floor, but he's also being crushed by the weight of his slightly chunky human companion, who according to the halfling weighs a ton. You get them out into the snow, and I'm assuming Marcel is following immediately on. Florian, your eye gets caught by something before you follow. There appears to be a scroll with a shiny ribbon that has been dropped out of one of their coats.
Yoink.
Are you going to read it?
Sure.
You open it, and you realize that it is written in Felinian.
You speak
That's one of the cat languages I speak, isn't it?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Just Cattian.
No, it's Felinian. Sir, you realize that it is not the best written, but they have been given strict orders to capture the usurper, while the rest of their crew, while the rest of the crew makes their way up to Harkvale, taking their captive with them. They are under strict orders to keep their captive alive, like the bait. They are going to use the woman that you presume is Helga as live bait for her runts. So you know where they're going, but you don't know why. And that fascinates you a little bit. Meanwhile, out in the snow, you
We'll also follow after.
you start your attempts at interrogating them. They don't really say much outside of until I'm presuming Scoria is encouraged to kick one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought Scoria brought the spear out.
Oh, you want to stab one of them? I'm fine with this.
Maybe use the non-sharp end of the spear to bludgeon as opposed to stab.
It depends on what mood Scoria is in.
You could stab them and I could heal them, and you could stab them and I could heal them.
Sorry, who was
That
calling?
sounds perfect.
Who was calling who the
Oh,
psycho?
well, you know me so well.
So, which one are you stabbing? The halfling or the
Yes.
human? Yes.
Just don't jump or you'll kill
I
them.
mean, that's so perfectly lined up.
Okay, well, you go to stab one of them, and they end up rolling slightly in an attempt to get away, and you put your spear through both their hands.
No,
The right hand, one of their right hands, the left hand for the other, that are together.
While they're distracted, can I search them for anything else?
Yeah, you find the necklaces, and that's about it. The pocket that the scroll clearly dropped out of is empty because you have the scroll. Honest, Gov, honest. We didn't have anything. We got this scroll that's all in fucking cat language. We don't get it. All we know is take the fucking dear guy alive. Please, Gov, spare us. We won't bother you again.
Scroll? What scroll?
Yes, I found something. I tell them what's on the scroll because I don't. It's like half a page I wrote. So
Fair. It's basically
Oh, we know she's alive.
to summarize it, it's essentially where the bandit group are going to. The fact they do not have any intent to kill Helga. They are trying to lure you guys to her by keeping her alive, and that the dear man that's still in the house that you have exited temporarily is a target of interest to them, meaning that you cannot leave him here without risking Mason and Belle's lives.
That's exactly what I thought.
so we're the targets. Why?
And with this chilling thought, it is where we're going to end off.
Ah.
So I'll catch you in the next
Damn, that
session.
last 10 minutes went quick. Holy fuck.
Bye bye.